One more requirement when it comes to these kind of situations is most often we are not open minded. See, this open mindedness, in fact, we tell, when it comes to training counselors, young counselors, you need to park all your perception biases outside. See, when I'm now being seen by all of you, immediately you will have opinions about me. You cannot avoid this because immediately all those things will, because we are all trained to quickly form some opinions. These opinions are what we call as perceptions. In fact, perception is half a day session for us. How the senses are going about giving some information to us, and how our mind is going about forming some images and the patterns that we are so used to. That's what we go about. We very quickly we will slot it. Yeah, an old man looks like a South Indian. His accent is this, that. So many things. Quickly we just okay. And now we have made a perception about this person. This bias, many a time, can be easily parked outside, and then we can get into the conversation. These perceptions are the most dangerous things when it comes to being open. So, in fact, very recently I heard in one of the satsangs, it is not, whenever we say open minded, it has to be empty minded. So, I immediately remembered a Zen story. The Zen story goes like this, somebody, a very established general in the army, he comes to a Zen master to learn about what is Zen. So he comes, with his uniform and stuff like that. And then he comes to listen to the Zen master. Please tell me, master, please tell me about Zen and all that. So the Zen master is saying, okay, please first have tea. Then he gives him the cup and the pot wherein the tea is there. Pour that. So he pours it, it's full. So the master says, go about pouring, go about pouring. And then it starts overflowing, overflowing, overflowing. He doesn't say stop. Yeah, yeah, go about pouring. Then the general is asking, what are you talking? It's already full and it's overflowing. What are you trying to do? Yes, I want you to know that you are in the same state as the cup is. You are already full. You are a general. You have all achieved. You have everything. So with that you are coming in. So when you come in, you can never understand Zen. So you need to empty it and then come. Every single conversation that we have, what will happen is the first word that is uttered, we will immediately go about filling the blanks. Somebody says one sentence, the rest of the sentences we will try to fill in the blanks, or we will be asking questions to fill up the blank, because we want the story to be complete in our minds as quickly as we can. So that is the biggest mistake in listening. We are not listening, we are asking. Empathy is trying to feel. You have to get into the other person's world. In fact, we call it as a parakaya pravesham in Sanskrit. The whole thing is you get into the other person's being and feel like the same person, go through the same experience mentally to understand as to what must be disturbing or must be helping the person to be what they are. Once we get to that, listening will be very easy. But these two processes are not, separate. Yeah, one gets empathy and then listen. No, part of the whole thing is you have to be ready to empathize, and then the listening starts. And as you keep listening, you understand the story, and the story and the story, the whole thing comes out to be clear to you. And then you go along, go into the other person's world and then come back. But most important thing is we have to come back. If we don't come back, that becomes sympathy, and we also start crying like what we do in the movie theaters and all that. the hero teaches the heroine, the whole audience cries and all that. It's sympathy, it's not empathy. Though it starts as empathy, we are all designed to be empathetic. In fact, they have found something like mirror neurons in our brains that immediately catches the emotion. See, if ever we walk on the road and we see a young child looks at us, immediately a smile just erupts in us. And then when we smile, the child also reciprocates. This is what we are. We are beautifully wired with love and love and love alone, actually. So empathy is something innate in us. We have to understand that the minute we are having this, listening will be much easier. Listening has to be active. It's not that, okay, I will listen. Yeah, you go about telling. Yeah, I will listen. Okay, are you done? Okay, I have listened to you completely. That's not what is listening. You have to be active listening. You must respond. Many a time you must actually paraphrase to, share. This is what I understand. Is it what you're saying? So if ever we get to this level of thing, that is when listening is complete actually. So listening is we can make it into an art, and we can make it into a beautiful exercise of love. So everyone wants to be understood. Everyone wants to be understood. Listening is a great tool for that. It's a very big tool for that. Listening is such a beautiful exercise of love. I have grown up in a semi-village kind of, semi-rural kind of, semi-rural, semi-urban setting. There we would see, say, let's say in a village, when there is transplantation going on, from the nursery you bring in those saplings, this paddy saplings, they will go about, transplanting them on the field. When such a work is going on, there'll be mostly all of them will be ladies. So when they're all going about doing this, suddenly they will all be bringing their children also, small kids and all. They will not be inside the field, they'll be outside the field. So one of them will hear, oh, Lakshmi's child is crying. Lakshmi is not around. I think she went out for some errand. Hey Sita, can you just go and look at the child? Some elderly person might say. So Sita would go there. The child has fallen down. The child has hurt herself, and then this Sita will just go about cuddling that, and then she will find the child is inconsolably crying. So what she would do? She is also a breastfeeding mother. So immediately she will start feeding the child, and then after some time the child will sleep, and she will put that child to some comfortable place, and then she will come back and resume the work. This is the kind of society that we belong to. They will not be thinking even a second time. They will just offer their breast. They will just breastfeed any child. This is how we have been. This is empathy. This is empathy. So going and offering what we can. In some cases, we just share a kind word. Other times, we may just be offering some water. We may be offering something or something else. The whole thing is, we are able to listen. There is a need. So we are able to go into even the child's world. We find it, and we are able to be of assistance. We have brought in a lot of conditioning and all that. Yeah, it's something that we cannot avoid. We cannot bring back the old setting. However, at least in the mindset, we can take away most of these conditionings. We can just take it away. Though the setting that I was wanting to share about Sita just going and taking care of the child, even to the level of just breastfeeding somebody else's child, this is what is ultimate empathy, in my opinion.